Radiant team ban. Dire team ban.
Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome to the Gigabyte Premier League. This is a best of one between First Departure and Allstar Indonesia. First Departure, of course, being a Singaporean team, Allstar Indonesia being, well, an Indonesian team. We did see Allstar Indonesia play last night, but unfortunately they went for a pretty greedy lineup. As I recall, they seemed to have a tri-core and just couldn't quite get the farm they needed. And First Departure, I mean, they've got a stand-in. Miracle was their carry player, but he's, gone around the world and changed teams. So at the moment, just using a random stand-in to help the team out while they figure out what they're going to be doing. But, I mean, looking at the banners, these guys are banning and picking so fast already. We're going to see a banner of the Elder Titan, as well as a Lifestealer, Timbersaw, and Syllabear. So a whole bunch of very tanky heroes that are quite durable and do a lot in, well, I suppose in team fights for Elder Titan and Timbersaw, as well as Lifestealer and Syllabear being good at, I suppose, pickoffs, as well as Syllabear being able to take down towers. But this does give First Departure the pickup of the Visage. All-Star could respond taking that Clockwork if they choose to, since Clockwork is one of the most popular heroes in the metagame at the moment. But if they don't want to go for the Clockwork, they could pick up a strong support such as the Crystal Maiden or the Rubik. And just start the beginning of the Trilon or the Roman supports, whatever they choose to do, but they're having a think about it. And it kind of depends, I suppose. If they want to go for that greedier lineup with a tri-core, they could pick up something like a Weaver and just have that strong solo offlane hero that can solo or can rotate to the mid lane, but they're going to go for the Alchemist as well as the Outworld Devourer. So Alchemist at the moment, he could be run as support in the metagame. Most recently has been seen primarily run as kind of a roaming support that rotates into a mid-game kind of semi-carry, I suppose. Seen him pick up Midases, but otherwise, just getting up Phase Boots and Medallion, general support, but utility type items, since he is quite tanky, and once he gets up a couple of strength items, he's very hard to take down. Outworld Devourer being one of those very, very strong mid heroes, he actually combos quite well with the Alchemist, as if you trap someone in that Astral Imprisonment, the Alchemist can have that opportunity to charge up his stun and throw that out onto whoever the Outworld Devourer is trapped. So a really good ganky combination if the Alchemist is going to be that roaming support. Alternatively, the Alchemist could be farming in the tri-lane though, going for a couple of levels in the Grievel's Greed and using that to just snowball basically and come online quite early, assuming he can get the farm. Clockwork is going to be the next pickup for First Departure, so one of the strongest offlane heroes in the game at the moment. He just needs to get level 6, and when he is in the offlane, that's quite easy since the creep wave has changed the equilibrium, so it is closer to his tower, so basically he can just sit at that tower and farm up. And of course, if he is left alone, if for example they do pick an Alchemist carrying two other supports and the two supports go roaming to kind of help the mid lane out, that Clockwork can essentially kill anyone off in a 1v1 situation. He's very, very versatile, and with that battery assault it does huge damage, and of course they can't escape with those cogs. So I mean, on the whole, you have to watch out for that Clockwork because he just needs level. He's fairly item independent. If he can pick up something like a mech, a blade mail, a force staff, he will become even more of a menace, but he still is item independent and doesn't really need too much to do a lot. First Departure now banning out those strong supports, ones that combo quite well with the Alchemist. Crystal Maiden, of course, being able to initiate with that Crystal Nova or Frostbite followed up by the stun is a lot of damage, as well as her aura giving him a good boost, since he does tend to be not mana dependent, but he does seem to have mana problems if he is roaming, since that Acid Spray as well as Alchemist stun cost a lot of mana. All-Star banning out the Weaver, so they don't want to have to deal with that tri-lane Weaver, as well as the negative armor that comes out from the Weaver is quite frustrating to verse as an Alchemist, and pretty much any hero really, but the Swarm is very, very devastating to any heroes that have got armor problems. And they're looking at that next ban out, so they could ban out something like a carry, maybe the Mirana being taken out of the pool, since Mirana Clockwork is a pretty brutal combo, as well as Mirana being one of those heroes that come online early, but they're going to get rid of the Luna, so taking out that carry and ensuring that whoever First Departure is going to have in that farming role will be able to, well, I suppose not be the Luna, be shut down maybe. I mean, Luna's a really fantastic mix of magical damage in the early game as well as physical damage in the late game. So I mean, she's one of those carries that's kind of relevant at all points in the game, even though the beginning of her laning phase can be quite weak. If she does has two strong supports, such as a Visage, maybe a Rubik as well, she can use that extra damage she gives them to just use them to harass any enemies out of lane. But it looks like All-Star are going to be the ones who take that Mirana themselves. So Alchemist plus Mirana is a lot of stun coming out. And they've also got that Outworld Devourer to deal some nice AoE and pure damage from his ultimate and that arcane orb that he's got. So a nice amount of damage coming out from these three heroes already. I'm not too sure if they're going to be running a roaming support Mirana, or if they are going to take that Mirana and leave her into the farming carry role on the tri lane. They could run an aggressive tri lane quite easily with an Alchemist Marana and
10
one strong
seconds
support.
remaining.
Like I said, Rubik, he's just a very versatile support in the metagame. They could
5
go for something
seconds
a little bit
remaining.
more unusual, like the THD, the Jakiro. He's got a lot of AoE and he does give them a little bit more pushing power onto towers because at the moment, I would say they're lacking AoE and they're also lacking tower damage. The first departure, you're going to respond with a Nyx
Radiant team
Assassin,
pick.
so could be a support. But I mean, Nyx Assassin typically he's seen as a mid hero now when he is picked up. As a support, he's not too strong, I would say. Uh, just because the change on his stun, unless he's got a reliable stun to kind of lead his own stun up, he really does have difficulties actually landing that stun quite often. It is pretty hard. So, I mean, Visage Nyx, it's okay
10
combo,
seconds
but
remaining.
it's all going to depend on how well this Nyx can land the stun, and I don't know.
5
I don't
seconds
particularly have
remaining.
faith. So, I mean, mid hero, he can do decently against the Outworld Devourer. His nuke does a lot of damage, that mana burn, and he can just constantly spam it out in the Outworld Devourer once he gets up that bottle, as well as just being able to use the spell of Spike Carapace to just force the OD back if the OD wants to harass him at all. So, I mean, it's a okay pickup for the mid lane, but once he hits level 6 as well, he will be able to rotate around the map quite aggressively. And it looks like Rubik is going to be the next pickup, so it's either going to be a farming Alchemist or a farming Marana. And I would think it's going to be a farming Marana because that does give room for the Alchemist and Rubik to roam around. But like I said, if it's a farming Alchemist, Marana and Rubik, one of them are going to have to sit at that tower and help the Alchemist out because Clockwork versus Alchemist, Clockwork is going to win. Of course, Clockwork versus Marana as well, Clockwork will win that matchup once Clockwork hits level 6. Because if Marana, he's just going to be able to walk up to
10
her, pop that
seconds
battery
remaining.
assault, and if she tries to leap away, well, he's got that hook to catch up to her. So,
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, Marana at least can force him out of lane as well as get that early level advantage. Maybe pick up some phase
Reserve
boots,
time.
possibly a Midas, and get her farm up using that. Whereas an Alchemist is really going to have a lot of trouble if the Alchemist is left while the two supports roam. Anyway, now first departure, thinking about that next pickup. So they've got Visage, who's probably going to be support. Clockwork is most likely going to be offlane. And like I said, I suspect Nyx Assassin is going to be going into the mid lane. I think first departure I've got the opportunity to pick up a better support to go with the Visage than the Nyx Assassin. But they need their carry. Maybe take him now, or they could take their other support now. I mean, in terms of carries, they could maybe... We're going to go for the Venomancer, so...
Radiant
Ooh,
team
that
ban.
puts a different spin on things. Venomancer is a very strong mid hero against the Outworld Devourer. He just needs to spam down those Plague Wards. With the Poison Sting as well, that Outworld Devourer will get forced out of lane. So Venomancer could be the mid hero for first departure with Nyx Assassin going as support. But I mean, it's still I'm not too sure. First departure at the moment, they are really sorely lacking in physical damage. They've got a decent amount of magical damage. I mean, Nyx Assassin and Clockwork are both fantastic for pickoffs. Venomancer's got huge AoE, and Visage has got decent single target. But I mean, first departure really need a physical DPS dealer, maybe a little bit more AoE. I could imagine them picking up maybe, I mean, a Shadow Fiend is a possibility depending on if they have a really strong Shadow Fiend pay up, just because he does add, magical as well as physical damage and some AoE into their lineup, and he will get dedicated farm in this tri-lane with the Visage, and possibly Venomancer or possibly Nyx. I mean, both of them can go head to head with an OD in the mid lane. Allstar, they're in need of, well, I guess they're off laner here at the moment, unless they're running an aggressive tri-lane. Syllabear's been banned out, and that is one hero that can go quite well against a Clockwork. But I mean, Windrunner is still in the pool. They could decide to pick her up. At the moment, they are lacking teamfight though, so something maybe like a Tidehunter could fit in quite well into their lineup at the moment. Just someone who does give them that little bit more oomph in teamfight, so they don't just get shut down immediately by first departure. That Venomancer is, I mean, if he is in the mid lane, once he gets that Argon Scepter up, he's just going to destroy pretty much all the heroes on Allstar, bar that Alchemist. I mean, his ultimate just does a lot of damage in an AoE, and those three heroes that picked up already, the Outworld Devourer, Marana, and Rubik, they're all very, very squishy, so they're going to have to watch out. So, in terms of offlaners they could pick up, I mean, Windrunner, like I said, and I mean, there's not that many really left, but they're going to go for the Queen of Pain, so What they could be doing is running an aggressive trailing with the Alchemist Mirana and Rubik, Queen of Pain mid lane, and Outworld Devourer easy lane. Yesterday when we saw them play, we did see the Outworld Devourer being that solo lane farmer. He's going to be against the Clockwork, so if he can get some nice procs on his aura, he should be able to shut that Clockwork down, unless First Departure decide to run an aggressive trailing, and it's going to depend on what their next pickup is. The pool is, I mean, pretty limited at the moment in terms of carries. They banned out the Gyrocopter, the Luna, the Weaver, the Silbear. I mean, those are all very,
Seconds remaining.
I'd say, reliable carriers in this metagame at the moment.
Reserve time.
So, I mean, they could go for something like the Kunkka, which gives them a little bit more AoE and some lockdown, as well as a really, I suppose, big ultimate. They could win them a team fight combined with that Venomancer. Luna's been banned out, and she would be probably the one that they're aiming to go for. I mean, Sven is another one they could potentially pick up, just with that big AoE stun and his damage. I mean, it's not ideal, but given that the pool is limited for the moment at the carries, I suppose they're a little bit, at
10
the
seconds remaining.
picking the heroes that not many other people want, I suppose. But they're going to go for the Clink, so this is going to be a really aggressive ganking lane up coming out from First Departure. So whatever they have, Clockwork's going to be going into the off lane. But whoever's going mid lane and those two supports, the Visage, the Assassin, Venomancer, whichever two of those are roaming, are going to be roaming hardcore. And it looks like it will be a Nyx Assassin in the mid lane, since the lobby typically plays support. So that is going to be a lot of aggression coming out. A lot. I can just imagine this is going to be quite a kill aggressive lane, I suppose. But I mean, in terms of Allstar, they've got decent AoE with the Queen of Pain as well as the Outworld Devourer. I mean, that's a good amount of AoE magical damage. The Clinks, I mean, once he gets that Orchid up though, they're going to have to watch out, because I think First Departure are going to be getting so many pickoffs at this point. All-Star are going to have to watch their positioning and ensure that they're 5-manning, I suppose. They're really going to be forced into a 5-man spot if they don't do fantastically in this early stage, because First Departure, once they hit level 6 on the Nyx, level 6 on the Clockwork, and once Clinks gets up that Orchid, I mean, they're just going to be ganking, just all around the map, picking everyone off. But anyway, we'll go through the plays quickly while it is paused. So starting with the side of All-Star, we've got AMZ on that Queen of Pain. RNG is going to be playing the Mirana. Zephyr is going to be on the Rubik. Outworld Devourer is going to be played by WSK. And Spaceman is going to be on the Alchemist. On the side of First Departure, we've got Mid or Feed, aka Pulson, is going to be playing the Nyx Assassin. Hana is going to be on that offlane Clockwork. Stand-in, Chinese character, is going to be playing the Clinks. Lubby is going to be on that Venomancer support, and Kai is going to be also playing a Visage on that support role. And looking at the lines, we are going to be having an aggressive tri-lane, I think, coming out from All-Star. They might even be considering dual laning. We can see Zephyr heading down to that bot lane just to ward up this area for the carry OD, but at the same time, First Departure having two supports roaming down. And I mean, OD versus Clockwork. Clockwork should be able to hold his own. He probably won't be able to score a kill since he is fairly mana dependent. I mean, his spell 75 as well as 50-ish for the cogs, and usually when you're versing an OD, you get down to about maybe a 60 mana pool most of the time. So this does mean that the Clockwork might not be able to get that full combo off to pick off the Outworld Devourer. Plus, of course, the Outworld Devourer can just trap the Clockwork and then walk away. But I mean, at the same time, you can see the aggressive positioning coming out from First Departure. They're lurking in the bushes here. That OD, unless he gets a good block off the lane, is going to be sitting at around about this point. He's going to go up to here, expecting to be versing a solo Clockwork, and these two supports are going to come out and just bite his face open. And I mean, they have got really great kill potential at level 1. Clockwork hasn't picked up a skill yet, so assuming the Venomancer will hit the Venomous Gale, he can quite easily go for that battery assault and just walk next to the Outworld Devourer until he does go down for First Blood. And the two supports from All-Star are also rotating down to the bot lane, but they might be a little bit too late. WSK is playing, he actually did get a decent block off, and he's playing it quite safe. He's just hiding behind the trees here. He wants to go forward for a last hit. It looks like he will, and his two supports are going to be reaching down here now to give him a hand, so this might not be the First Blood coming out from First Departure. They have left themselves a little bit out, but they're not quite visible yet, and actually, it looks like All-Star are wanting to go for an initiation onto Hana as well. They are hiding behind the trees here, Alchemist has got that stun as well as Ziva having that telekinesis. So, I mean, they've got disables, but not that much damage coming out quite yet. And that will Devour is not that good in a tri lane because he doesn't have any nuking spells. He's more about lane control than about getting kills. I mean, he can potentially get a kill when he hits level 6, but in these early levels, there's not that much he can do. And you can actually see Alchemist is charging up that stun and running at to Hannah. Hannah is going to get hit, but he does do a nice little cogs, trying to save his life. And now Outworld Devour gets spotted out by Lubby. Lift on Hannah, throwing him down onto Kai, stunning. Really, really nicely done. But WSK will be going down for the first blood with that huge nuke coming out from Kai. That Soul Assumption doing huge damage. And there's 2 supports from First Departure hiding in the bushes for a long time, but it was worth it. I mean, unfortunately, this tri lane coming out from Allstar just... they're going to find it very hard to get kills. They're not a killing tri lane. I mean, Alchemist and Rubik, they're 2 supports capable of roaming and getting kills, but OD just adds nothing. I feel like it would have been maybe better if they just... I mean, even put the Mirana down here, just so they could actually have an opportunity to get kills. But, I mean, now the supports from First Departure will be roaming around a little bit. They're camping for the 2-minute rune on the bot lane. Kai is actually maybe going to get stunned up by Spaceman. But Spaceman, yeah, we'll be throwing it out, and they're going to lift Kai onto the high ground. They are going to. Kai is now on that high ground. He can bite his way out. And it looks like he will be doing that, so he's going to be okay. But now, stun coming out from Alchemist yet again. Venomancer is on the run. Kai is ready to turn around and give a bit of a hand. Rotation coming in from AMZ as well. Lubby getting very, very low. He's down on 70 health, and Queen of Pain's going to blink and get a scream off. Now she's going on for Kai. Kai is on 2 more hits. Ruby going to be scoring that kill. And now Odie's here as well. Hana could be in trouble. Hana, he's going to get trapped out by WSK, so he can't deny himself to the creeps. And that's going to be 1 kill apace for Allstar in exchange for an Alchemist. So, I mean, ultimately a really nice exchange for them. Score 3-2 at the moment, going the way of Allstar. And I mean, meanwhile, Nyx Assassin has been free farming that mid lane. He's level 4, so he's probably going to hit, I would say, level 6 at around about the 4-minute mark or so. And that's going to be a perfect time for him to go ganking, since it will be low visibility from the nighttime. And he could potentially get some nice pickoffs with that. But I mean, at the same time, this tri lane, which should not be winning coming up from Allstar, is actually winning at this point in time. So I would also say a good rotation coming out from the Queen of Pain. Spending her time to go down there and just help them out rather than just watching them all die nearby. She decided, hey, it's better that I go help. So really well done by her. On top lane, Clinks versus Mirana. We haven't looked at that too much. Mirana's going for the standard, I would say 3-1-1 build. Clinks, he's going for, well, also a standard build with the Searing Arrows as well as a Skeleton Walk. He could be picking up a Midas first. Actually, on bot lane, WSK is going to get initiated on, but he will be able to just walk away, so he's going to be okay. But Clinks, he's got 1.1k gold in the bank, so you could see him picking up a Midas. Midas is one of my favorite items to go for on a Clink, since he is always going to be in the jungle pretty much. I mean, he's going to have to go to the jungle once every minute or so to pick up a creep for his Death Pact, and if he can get a fast Midas up, not only does it increase his attack speed, which is something he desperately wants, the Strafe, I mean, you want to level it up, but of course you also want to level up the Skeleton Walk, and hit level 16, of course, as fast as possible as well. So, I mean, really, getting that Midas on Clinks is going to give him a lot of levels, which is something that he desperately needs. And actually on top lane, the 2 supports from Allstar have rotated up. Clinks has not spotted them out, or has he? He's playing quite defensively. They have got sentries, so they could go for a kill right now. Clinks can be actually spotting the Alchemist out. Maybe he will be. He's just going to be able to pop that Windwalk and get away. The Alchemist, as well as Rubik, staying a little bit too far forward. They will be dropping a sentry down in that lane to give him a bit of a hand, but now initiation might occur on WSK or bot lane. First Departure know that those 2 supports are at top, so this Outworld Devourer, who's standing behind the tower, could be easy pickings with him. He's trying to juke himself into the trees, and he might actually be able to make it away. That is a really nice little hiding spot there. And he's struggling not to attack, but Hana has spotted him out. Hana's going to be trapping him in the trees there. Venomous Gale coming out from Lubby. WSK not even able to use the trap. No, he will use the trap last second to save himself. Hana's still standing there waiting though. He's going to pop the bottle and try and get away, but Kai will score that last hit with the auto attack. And our score 3-3. And those 2 supports from Allstar just wasting a little bit too much time in the top lane. Not able to score a kill, though they did force... Oh man. This Clinks back to base on 34 health, but the Clinks has got that recipe of the Hand of Midas now, and he's going to be able to just snowball his farm forward. At the same time, mid or feed just about to hit level 6 and almost got those mana boots up as well. So once he's got those, I can imagine rotation galore coming out from him. He's going to probably go down to bot lane, maybe pick off the OD, alternatively go to top lane and pick this Mirana off. Mirana does have those phase boots up now if she's choosing to buy them, and that's going to give her a lot more attack damage to harass that Clinks out of lane. Though, of course, Clinks should ideally be winning this lane. I mean, at the moment, it's I would say it's fairly even. I mean, 23 to 10 to 22 to 5. Clinks is drawing ahead on the denies, but it's not a significant, it's significant, but it's not the end of the world because Clinks has been forced out of the lane. And now, where has this Nyx assassin gone? He's gone back to base. He's got his mana boots up whenever he goes to that side shop or secret shop. But no, he's actually going to buy out a magic wand, but still bottling himself up. He's going to be heading towards that top lane. Like I said, trying to pick off that Mirana. His ultimate is going to be popped and he's ready to go, get a kill. Mirana's got a sentry down though, so they know that she's here. At the same time, Queen of Pain's coming off to the top lane. It looks like he wants to go in, and Mirana's going to be leaping away. Good reaction speed from her. But now the Nyx Assassin's chasing at the same time. Queen of Pain does score a kill on the Clinks using that huge Sonic Wave, doing a lot of damage. Now middle feed will be forced back. Queen of Pain going to be able to make it away A-OK from that. And I mean, ultimately that kill turned around, as well as the two supports coming up here for good measure. They might want to take down Kai if they can. Sorry, not Kaya. Middle feed if they can. Arrow's going to be missing, so maybe they're going to be forced to back off. But I mean, at the same time, Lubby's farming the mid lane, so 4 heroes up atop for Allstar. They've scored 1 kill, but they probably need to make something else happen. But at the moment, they really can't. Zephyr's been forced to rotate back. He's only on 80 health, and on the whole, Allstar just... I mean, finding good pickoffs, of course. I'm not saying they're not getting good pickoffs, but they probably need to start getting towers down to gain some kind of advantage. And at the same time, on bot lane, WSK just getting initiated on a little bit. The Clockwork just going for those cogs, going to be forcing him back and stealing a little bit of his mana. Kai can't quite score a kill just down here quite yet. I mean, it's a pretty frustrating lane for them to be in because the Clockwork, I mean, he's only just hit level 6, and if he can get a hook off, it'll be ideal. And actually on the mid lane, we are going to see initiation going off into AMC. Nyx Assassin, I'm turning into a New Zealand person. Nyx Assassin will be able to take down that Queen of Pain in the mid lane, just using that Vendetta for huge damage. And Lubby, like I said, he's farming the mid lane, so he is getting some levels up. And on bot lane, we do see trying to go in for a hook onto that WSK, but rotation coming in from the Ruby to help him out. Not going to quite be finding a kill there yet, but this is probably, I mean, exactly what First Departure want to do. They want to create space for that Clinks. I mean, Clinks has got the Midas up, and on the whole, this Nyx Assassin and Clockwork are just creating a huge amount of fuss for him. I mean, Clockwork now maybe going to be going on to Ruby. He is going to be latching the hook, but he gets trapped at the same time. So is that hook going to land? He does actually end up on the other side, but Zephyr has had the opportunity to walk away. He pops the battery cell, but no, that nuke coming out from Kai, that solar substitute doing huge damage. WSK is going to get grave chilled by Kai, and they will be able to make it back out at the same time. Middle feed is actually back down on the bot lane now. He's got up that Vendetta in 10 seconds, and maybe they want to dive onto this tower. Kai, in fact, is just diving by himself. WSK being forced back by the creeps. But at the same time, in top lane, RNG somehow scored a solo kill against the Clinks. I'm not too sure how that happened. I wish I'd seen it. But at the same time, on bot lane, oh man, WSK is getting dived by Middle feed. Middle feed still hasn't popped that ultimate, so he's got the Vendetta up if he chooses to use it. He will just be throwing out a nice stun on AMZ. And now backing out, just bottling himself up. He might go hide in the bushes here and pop that Vendetta, wanting to go back into the team fight. And it looks like that is what he's going to do. He's going to pop the Vendetta, ready to come back in. WSK is going forward so aggressively. He does not have... Oh my god, he's going to get stunned out. Vendetta as well, and that's going to be the death of him. He didn't have enough mana for the Astral Imprisonment, so that's going to be the death of him. But now at the same time, in comes Queen of Pain. She's got her Scream of Pain. Going to be throwing it out onto onto the middle of feed. The Sonic Wave going out as well. Hana just hooking onto Spaceman. He's not level 6. He hasn't got that mad regen, so he probably will be going down. Visage Familiar's doing some nice stun work. AMZ, oh my god, he was trying to get that last hit onto Kai, but he's just not able to do it. And now Zephyr could be going down as well, so a double kill onto Kai, but a double kill onto Zephyr as well. There's Visage Familiar's doing a lot of work, but ultimately it was a 3-for-2 trade, losing the Queen of Pain, losing the 2 supports in exchange for 1 support, as well as that Nyx Assassin.
Middle tower is under attack.
And Mirana, she has not left this top lane yet. This is the first time she's leaving it. But I wonder what item build she's going to be going for. So she could go for something like a Diffusal. A Manta probably will be necessary this game. Either a Manta or a BKB. Given that, versing that Clinks, he's going to be picking up a Orchid almost for sure. So that Manta is going to be... Well, a Manta would be really good for just stopping the silence, but a BKB would be equally good for stopping the silence. It would also help quite dramatically with the DPS coming out from the rest of the heroes. With, you know, Hana's got the Battery Assault, got the Cog, got the Rocket, got the Hook. I mean, all magical. Nyx Assassin, pretty much all magical as well. Venomanta and Visage, no less, also all magical. And actually on bot lane, we can see Middle Feed hiding behind the tower. He's vented it up. His ultimate is going to be wearing off. He does manage to No, he doesn't manage to walk back in time. He is spotted out. They know he's there waiting for him. And the two supports are slightly in position. They're ready to help out if they need to. They're just kind of farming the jungle together. But in mid lane, very interesting hook coming out from Hana. I think you greatly overestimated the length of that hook, so we'll be missing. But I mean, middle feed now rotating back to the mid lane, and AMZ is finding it a little bit hard to find the farm that he needs to be finding, because I mean, ultimately, the Queen of Pain has to kind of be that mid-game carry, and actually she is just going to get straight out initiated on. Double stun coming out from those Visage Familiars, a really nice double stun from them, and that is going to be the death of the Queen of Pain. And she needs to be keeping up in farm, because like I was saying, that Clinks is going to be able to get a very fast Orchid up. And of course, their team is going to have to start 5-manning very soon. I mean, you can't really go solo against a Nyx Assassin and against a Clockwork, and not to mention against that Clinks. But the Clinks is going to be coming online a little bit later, so I mean, now they don't have to worry too much about the Clinks. He's just farming the top lane, but that Nyx Assassin and Clockwork are just deadly. Not to mention those Visage Familiars, which are flying around the map, scouting people out. And so that's something that Allstar have to be in mind of, because they can't keep going alone. They have to start 5-manning. But their 5-man lineup is really not that strong. They've got no tower pushing potential. Actually on bot lane, Alchemist going to be charging up their stun, throwing it right onto Hana. Hana though, getting some, oh my god, those Visage Familiar stuns, absolutely perfect, but nice Astral Imprisonment will be saving his life. He does get the Clockwork cogs off, but it's just going to force Spaceman back. And now, counter initiation coming out from Allstar. They've rotated 5 heroes down here. Only 4 heroes from departure, but do they want to fight this? And now in comes the Clockwork Hook, going to be latching onto his allies, forcing everyone back. A beautiful cogs in the middle of the fight. He's going to get stunned out. Astral Imprisonment. Odie laying down the ultimate, but it's not doing enough damage. The Spaceman will be the one to fall, but in comes the Sonic Wave. Lubby getting very, very low, but Visage Familiar is doing a nice stun, saving his life for another couple of seconds, but it's not enough. And a 2-for-2 trade at the moment, losing the Clockwork and the Venomancer in exchange for the Mirana as well as the Alchemist. And now middle feed is going to be the next one to going down. Nice Scream of Pain coming out from ANZ. At the same time though, Clink's trying to do some pushing on the top lane, but he just doesn't have the mana pool at the moment to do it. He needs to pick up a couple more items, so ultimately a good fight in favour of Allstar. They got a lot more pickoffs, and they could do a bit of damage to this bottom tier 1 tower now.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Clockwork has picked up his blade mail. We aren't seeing any
Top tower has fallen.
core items, I suppose, coming out. It looks like a Midas has actually been picked up by this OD though, so I was about to say, I wonder if he's going to be picking up the mech for his team, because like I said, if they're 5-manning, they probably need a fairly fast mech up, but it looks like, well, actually, top lane, Smoke Gang coming out from Allstar. There's 3 smoked up. They're going to be looking at that Clinks if they can find him. He's standing quite far back at the tower. They haven't found him quite yet. I think the Clinks knows what's going on. They're pinging out Roshan though, because do they want to go for the Roshan pit? Looks like they're considering going in for the Roshan pit, but I mean, these heroes from Allstar, the smoke's about to wear out. They didn't find a pick off. They've wasted a little bit of time, but now they're trying to get a block. I haven't actually seen Venomancer Roshan for a little while, so I'm not too sure exactly if they can do it or not, if they can keep him blocked, but I mean, either way, they are making a little bit of space for this Clinks to keep farming on the top lane. And on the bot lane, Hana, who's got that blade mail, is actually free farming as well. OD has gone to the top lane to try and catch up and farm, and all he's got is a Midas. Actually, initiation in mid lane. Middle feed going to be blinking in, trying to take down Spaceman. Spaceman will be falling down after that Vendetta hit. It looks like Zephyros might be the next one to go, but he does steal the Vendetta and manages to Vendetta away. But Hana is going to hook in right now on AMZ. AMZ instantly blinking out of the way, saying he doesn't want to have any part in this. Arrow going to be thrown out by RNG, but not going to... No, actually, it's going to land onto Kai, but... I'm sorry, not Kai, middle feed. But middle feed will be okay. He's just going to be able to blink in, stun out on Zephyr, and Zephyr's going to be going down to Kai, but Sonic Wave thrown out onto 2. Middle feed does actually pop that Spike Carapace, turn around, throwing out the Mana Burn, and that's going to be Queen of Pain going down as well. So first departure, really good little fight there. Managed to take down 3 heroes in exchange for nothing, and now they do have a gem picked up 15 minutes into the game on that Visage, ready to just counteract that Mirana ultimate if she does choose to use it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And now it looks like they will be going for the Roshan. Hana trying to take it out, but he doesn't really have that much health. Good thing there's no Bloodseeker. Now Roshan is down to about half health. Looks like maybe they're not even aware. No, they are smoked up, ready to try and defend it. Mirana, will she be popping her ultimate or throwing out an arrow, doing anything really to get themselves a little bit of vision? It looks like maybe not, and it's going to be too late. Zephyr is going to be revealed on that smoke, but it doesn't matter. Actually, Aegis just sitting there on the ground. They're leaving it there. Hana going to be initiated in, using that blade melody huge time. Zephyr going to be going down, but at the same time Hana dies, but RNG dropped down instantly. Nyx assassin now with that Aegis, so he's not scared and he will be able to take down Spaceman. They're going to do some dewarding now, and I mean 3 down in exchange for Hana. And they will be able to get this T1 tower down at bot lane. It's on 22 health. Odie decides not to deny it. He's just going to hide in the bushes here.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So the bot tower will be going down there to middle feed. And I mean, if we look at the gold and experience graph right now, about 12,000 gold in favor of first departure. Experience around about 10,000. I mean, they're taking the lead as much as they need to, and I mean, Clinks has got up his Orchid now. Even though the kills aren't too far apart, it's only 11 to 18, that's not that bad. I mean, Allstar obviously are going for the long haul. They picked up a Midas onto the Mirana, they picked up a Midas onto the Outward Devourer, and that does kind of imply that they want to just turtle until they get fat enough to win. But now on the top lane, WSX will be getting very, very low. Is he going to die? No, he manages to use that bottle to keep himself alive, but the Orchid now is revealed, and they know they have to watch out. And actually, Rocket... oh, just misses. He traps himself the last second. Will be able to make it out alive from that. And now in this mid lane, they will be just dropping a really defensive ward, but it doesn't matter because they've got a gem and they'll just be able to scout that out really, really easily. And now pretty much all map vision being denied from first departure, and this is something I noticed first departure doing yesterday as well, and that was picking up a very, very fast gem, and I think that's a really nice item choice because, I mean, it does cost around about 1,000 gold, but I mean, it gets you complete and utter map control. If you can just go dewarding, I mean, you can just see, if you look at the vision on the map, Allstar have no control. They have no control over the jungle. They can't go farm there, so it's a whole bunch of farm. Yep, okay, your line's prettier than mine. You know, there's a whole bunch of farm just completely denied from them. And first departure have got, well, basically total map control. They can farm anywhere, and that's just going to continue snowballing their gold forward. And that really does put Allstar at the back foot because they have enough farm and experience to catch up. And while the Midases will be quite helpful with keeping up in terms of appearances, but no, in mid lane, Spaceman just dares to go forward. He's going to get initiated on, drop down very, very quickly. Hana could be the one to fall from this. Arrow going to be coming out, lifted into the arrow from the telekinesis. Odie dropping the ultimate, huge sonic wave, landing onto 3, but Queen of Pain will get silenced and taken down at the same time, and they are just waiting for that venomous poison nova to wear off. Mirana using her ultimate to get them all out of the way. But I mean, this is like, before the tier 2 tower has even dropped, they're diving to this point onto the map. I mean, they have no fear at all on first departure. They know they've got total map control, and hero-wise, they have got the control they needed as well, since first departure running that aggressive tri-lane forced Allstar to play a defensive tri-lane. I mean, it gave a lot of room for first departure to roam around and just win those other lanes like they wanted to. And unfortunately, on top lane, Clinks, I mean, he got harassed decently. He is 1-2 at the moment, but it just wasn't enough. Since when you compare his farm to Mirana's, or his net worth to Mirana, since they were in the same lane for the same amount of time, you'd expect a fairly close farm, but no, Clinks is twice the net worth of this Mirana, and actually Mirana could get initiated on now. Clinks is considering going in, and Venomancer, support Venomancer, has actually picked up his Arcanum Scepter, so that is just going to be insane amount of AoE damage coming out. And our first departure's next point of business is just going to be taking down all these tier 2 towers if they can. They still have got the Aegis. Yes, they've still got the Aegis on middle feed, so I mean, he's free to really just go initiate in if he needs to and get some pickoffs before dying. And they probably do want to use the Aegis to their advantage. I think they wanted to leave it to the Clinks, but they noticed there was going to be a team fight initiated, so they were forced really to take the Aegis and not give it to the Clinks like they wanted. But I mean, regardless, it doesn't really matter. And now we can see Nyx Assassin with a haste ring going to be charging down the lanes. He has caught sight of Mirana. Mirana will... no, actually, he's going straight for the Rubik. He doesn't even care. And just almost 2 hits onto the Rubik, but not quite enough. Rubik does actually steal despite Carapace, but it doesn't matter for those familiars. And actually, Looks like Spaceman is going to get initiated on next, but his regeneration is way too high. Nice turn coming up from the next, going to be catching onto the Queen of Pain, and Queen of Pain could be going down, and she gets caught in the cogs. Not enough damage to take her down, but Venomous Gale landing onto RNG, and he's got nowhere to go. He is going to get trapped out by WSK, but it's not enough damage, and Hana now. Hana will be going down. Kai getting very, very low, but middle feed now on a double kill. A triple kill on middle feed, in fact, and Kai stealing that ultra kill from him, taking down Spaceman, but regardless, a 1-for-5 trade at the end of that team fight. And this is without a mech, if I'm correct. They didn't bother to pick up a mech. Yeah, this is... Well, they do have a mech, sorry, on Kai. But still, I mean, they're winning these team fights resolutely, and they did go for a very aggressive ganking lineup, and that's exactly what they needed to do. They needed to win the team fights. And one more kill, and Allstar are going to be half the kills on first departure. And this Aegis is about to be going down, but it doesn't really matter. They're going to be able to push this tier 3 tower. It doesn't look like Allstar can defend, because, I mean, at the moment, they're pushing with just 3 heroes. Hana's not there, and the Clinks is on the bot lane, so... This is really a bad situation for Allstar to be in. And now, initiation going over to Spaceman. He will be taking a bit of damage, but Mirana throws out that Moonlight Shadow just to save his life. And this is the kind of downfall of First Departure's lineup, is they don't really have that much high ground push. They've got the Clinks who can rip through towers, as well as the Venomans that will launch down those wards, but they haven't got anything like a Pugna who can just, you know, assassinate that tower over time. And now First Departure just lingering, just pressuring essentially.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And actually they want to go in that Clinks the top lane, but Hana is there to save the day. Going to be able to take down WSK. A nice double stun coming out. Will be taking down RNG as well as Spaceman, who's so low, and he will be falling finally. At the same time, this Queen of Pain wants to get out of there. She doesn't know if she should accept her fate or not. And... going to be TPing out. Lobby actually even throws down the ultimate just to do a lot of damage to her, but she will be able to make it out A-OK. But now First Departure, 3 are down for the side of Allstar, and they could really push this base. They will even get down Zephyr again in the mid lane, so 4 down now for the side of Allstar.
Radiant's top tower.
The First Departure aren't pushing too hard. They've got top lane pushing in, which is going to be helping a little bit, but I mean, they just don't have the ability to really break high ground. Even though they've got such a huge gold advantage, even though, I mean, they've been winning all the team fights, it hasn't been I mean, it doesn't really matter too much if they can't push this high ground. They really need to get a rack soon. And it looks like double damage rune going to be found on that Nyx Assassin, so maybe that's the opening they've been waiting for. But again, I mean, they just need to take the heroes down. Actually, Spaceman is going to get, oh my god, pulled, force-stuffed out. I mean, I don't even know what just happened, but he does go down. It's like he got hooked to us at the same time he got force-stuffed out. But at the end of the day, he died, and that's one more hero down for Allstar. Score 13-30 at the moment. But still, First Departure finding it difficult to push into the base.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Now Queen of Pain is going to get double Visage Familiar Stun. She will be able to blink out, luckily, but still a lot of harassment onto her, and the racks now are finally getting hit on.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Mirana will be going down now, just too much damage coming out from Kai, and the racks finally will be falling at the same time. Top racks is going down to the Clinks. This is going to be double racks coming out at the moment. I don't think Allstar can defend this.
Is under attack.
But even now, Clinks is gonna maybe get taken down. He does actually manage to take down Zephyr with him though. He says, I'm going down, well I'm taking you with me. And now team down, and GG will be called out by Allstar. So GG well played to both teams. Thank you of course to Gigabyte as well as AMD sponsoring this tournament and Dota Talk. And shout out to datbet.net, which is esports betting. And thanks to Pimpermuckle for doing the camera work, guys.